Good afternoon, SAISD familia. I'm Jaime Aquino, and I'm excited to come to you via this virtual town hall to discuss the safety and security measures that we have put in place to keep you and all our students safe. Before we begin, however, I would like to take some time to tell you how excited I am to be your superintendent of schools. I've been here for about 3 months, and in this time, I have met dedicated staff and students filled with incredible potential, enthusiasm, and excitement for their future. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our parents and family to a new school year, which begins on August 16. We're looking forward to greeting your children in our schools and classroom. We promise to take care of them as if they were our own children. Together, we will make this the best year ever. At our recent leadership conference, I challenged all our school leadership teams to dream big and make the impossible a reality. To us, this means that we make it a reality for all our kids to graduate possessing the knowledge and skills to pursue a future of their choosing. The key here is all students, not some, not most, but all. Over the past several weeks, I have worked with my district leadership team and with all campus leaders to ensure that we can deliver on our promise in every school, in every classroom, and for each child. We call this our bold promise. Our bold promise is that San Antonio ISD is an inclusive familia that is the destination for transformational learning that makes the impossible a reality, by demonstrating an urgent and relentless commitment to love, nurture, and teach all our students as if they are our own, so that they realize their power to shape the world. I look forward to talking more with you about our commitment to educational excellence at future town hall meetings. Today, however, with school approaching, I want to focus on safety in our schools, because I know this is top of mind for many of you, and I want to assure you that it is also top of mind for me too. For us to deliver on our bold promise, we first must have schools that are physically and psychologically safe for our students. We believe that whatever it takes, our kids are worth it, and this applies to safety and security as well. In April, when I was considering taking the superintendency, one of the first things I asked for was the district's emergency operation plan. As the leader of the district, I realized my role in overseeing the safety and security of every instructional and work site within our district. And I want to assure you that I take this responsibility and oversight seriously. I was pleased to find a strong plan already in place through the district's comprehensive safety plan called the Multi-Hazard Emergency Operations Plan. This plan describes in detail how the district and staff will work together during times of emergency. It describes resources and assets available to support school. It also outlines planning and prevention strategy, sets expectations for training and preparing for emergency, and it outlines how we will maintain strong communication with staff, families, and the community during times of crisis. In addition to a strong plan, the district is significantly investing in safety. This school year alone, we intend to invest an additional $40 million in enhancing our police department facilities, technology, communication tools, mental health, and training. For security reasons, we cannot share all the details of our district's safety plan. However, we will share key points around our Safe and Supportive Schools program, provide an update on mental health support, introduce new safety measures for this school year, and answer questions you have submitted for the Town Hall Q&A. While we will be sharing many of our safety strategy, I want to anchor the Town Hall in a conversation I had with our administrator at our recent Safety and Security Conference in June. At that conference, we invited a national expert on safety. She shared many things to affirm that we are doing everything possible in our district to keep our SAISD family safe. And she reminded us that safety belongs to everybody. There's no single owner of safety, no one department or school that can exist in isolation. Whatever our role as a student, parent, community member, staff, custodian, teacher, or administrator, we are all responsible. Our district is stronger and safer when we all assume responsibility for keeping our schools safe. At this time, I would like to introduce my colleague, Patty Salzman, Deputy Superintendent, who will provide an overview of our Safe and Supportive Schools program.
Good afternoon. I would like to anchor our next section around our SAISD Safe and Supportive School program. The SAISD Safe and Supportive School program is a comprehensive approach to school safety driven by 6 primary responsibilities with an overarching goal of achieving both physical and psychological safety for all people within the learning environment. These responsibilities include promoting a positive school climate, building multiple ways of supporting students who may be struggling academically and behaviorally, which we call our multi-tiered systems of support, conducting threat assessment when incidents occur on campus that threaten the learning environment, ensuring that all staff are well trained, collecting and using data to continuously improve our systems of support and protection, and supporting facility, safety, and security. You will notice that 5 of the 6 components are directly related to preventative measures. Promoting a positive school climate at its core is about building and maintaining positive relationships with our students, families, and school community. There is a substantial amount of research about how a positive school climate can support children by promoting their resilience and protecting them from the harmful effects of negative situations. Our staff frequently engage in professional learning designed to strengthen our collective ability to promote a positive school climate. Topics include restorative practices, mindfulness, trauma-informed training, behavior and crisis management, mental health awareness, suicide awareness and prevention, social emotional learning, self-regulation, and other related training. We recognize that our families play a crucial role in helping us establish a positive school climate, and we value this partnership. In total, our educators filled over 10,000 seats across 118 different offerings in the 21-22 school year. These learning experiences are offered year-round, and while we heavily invest in professional learning, the bulk of the money we spend is on mental health staff. Of the $40 million spent to create safe and supportive schools, $20 million is spent on mental health support services, with 98% of that spent on staff who provide direct services to students. Our team of counseling and mental health staff is 236 people strong. These professionals provide services from mental health guidance to clinical and psychological services. Part of our team of professionals includes the care team. The care team has 4 staff members who are certified or licensed experts in behavior and/or psychology who directly intervene during a crisis. The SAISD Police Department works collaboratively with the behavioral experts to assist students who are in need of medical mental health attention and who may require transport to a hospital setting. When transport is required, 2 plainclothes police officers in an unmarked police car support our mental health staff. The goal is to make sure that the support is therapeutic and as trauma-free as possible. After the crisis, the behavioral experts and social workers work to provide follow-up support in the form of direct services, family support, consultation, training, and coaching. The ultimate goal is to return the student to their learning environment safe and whole. In SAISD, promoting a positive school climate means guarding and supporting our students' social, emotional well-being and mental health, ensuring strong parent engagement, providing social supports for families when possible, and fostering community involvement in our schools. At this time, we would like to share a valuable parent resource created by parents for parents to access important information, including resources for academics, mental health, family needs, and household essentials. This overview will be provided by Leslie Martinez, SAISD parent. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you, Patty. Hi, I'm Leslie Martinez, graduate and current parent in SAISD. I am very pleased today to introduce a new resource for parents, Systems of Care website. This is the result of a collaboration between parents, families, and district staff. Let's take a look. Over the course of the past year, this site was created by families for families. To access, you can visit saisdcares.net. This website connects students and families to 4 resource areas. The 4 resource tabs are Academic Resources, where parents can access information on curriculum and instruction, as well as extracurricular and fine arts programs. The Family Needs Resource tab provides families with guidance and assistance to remove barriers to engagement and support their child's student achievement. Household Essentials Resources tab provides resources that support the general well-being and safety of our families. And Mental Health Resources, which provides resources that support social, emotional, and psychological needs for families. Let's take a tour of one of these topics. Let's look at mental health resources. The full Systems of Care site is available in Spanish and English by clicking on the language button at the top right of any page. After reading the overview description of this topic, we can scroll down and see an interactive list of subtopics. As you click on the title of the subtopic that you are requesting, the titles will adjust, bringing up the most relevant resources to the top. If you need a resource and cannot find it, scroll to the bottom of any page and send a message directly to district staff, who will get back to you within 48 hours. Our goal is to make sure this is always useful and up to date to meet the needs of families in SAISD. Remember, this resource will continue to be created by families for families. We hope that you find it useful and visit soon. Now let's go back to Patty.
Thank you, Leslie. As we transition to the next section on physical safety, I want everyone to know that we value our families and our volunteers. When you hear about our strategies around physical safety, we want you to know that these strategies are not intended to limit access. Rather, they're intended to ensure that only those people who should have access to the building are permitted to enter. At this time, I would like to introduce Johnny Reyes, Chief of Police.
Hello to all. I am Johnny Reyes Jr., Chief of Police of the San Antonio Independent School District Police Department. I have over 30 years of law enforcement experience, to include security protection in the private sector. I've been employed with the San Antonio Independent School District Police Department for 20 years. I am married to my wife, Michelle Reyes, who is also part of the SAISD Familia, and my son, John Eric Reyes, who closes out my family unit. I share my family unit with you because I want to express the urgency and the importance of my mission and direction of this department. We want to humanize the badge. Yes, we wear the badge and the uniform, but we are human beings first. We're husbands, we're wives, we're fathers, we're daughters, we're brothers and sisters. And please know that this department is committed each day, day in, day out, in protecting the lives and promoting a safe learning environment for our students, our staff, and our SAISD community. know that in that commitment, we will have an immediate response to any large-scale event or any service call without delay. The San Antonio Independent School District Police Department supports the district mission by ensuring positive relationships with our students, our staff, and our community. We serve as role models, and we have a restorative approach to enforcement versus punitive action. We are committed in serving the district by providing a safe and secure learning environment for all our campuses and district facilities. The San Antonio Police Department is comprised of 72 officers when fully staffed. We operate utilizing 4 different divisions, which are Patrol, Campus, Support, and Police Communications Division. Our Patrol Division is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year service that we provide for the SAISD community. Our Campus Division operates Monday through Friday and provides on-campus support and extracurricular support during athletic events or special functions. Our Support Division is comprised of our Training Unit, Investigations Unit, and Intelligence Unit. Our Criminal Investigation Unit works closely with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office to close out or to file criminal cases within the prospective jurisdiction, whether it be juvenile or adult sections. Our Training and Recruitment Unit provides mandated training for all SAISD police officers and aggressively recruits new officers to bring them on board. Our Intelligence Unit is comprised of 3 officers assigned to the Fusion Center here in San Antonio. They operate with continuous communication between our agency and other agencies to include federal, state, and local entities. Our Police Communication Center is again a 24/7, 365-day operation. Our staff will continually monitor cameras and alarms during this period. They communicate not only with our officers as a life-saving mechanism, but they have constant communication and instant communication with other outside law enforcement agencies who are responding or when we're assisting them. The SAISD Police Department works collaboratively with other outside agencies to include the Bexar County Sheriff Department, SAPD, FBI, San Antonio Fusion Center, Texas Department of Public Safety, and SA Fire Department. Students and staff participate in training related to safety and first aid, and they participate in required safety drills. There are 4 types of drill that are required by law. These are according to the Standard Response Protocol. They are lock out, lock down, evacuate, and shelter. Lockout is called when there is a threat outside of the campus. It uses the physical structure of the building as protection. The state requires 1 lockout drill per school year. Lockdown is called when there is a real threat inside the school or the safety of the students is at immediate risk. The state requires 1 lockdown drill per semester, which is 2 drills per school year. Evacuate is called when there is a need to move people from one location to another, such as a fire drill. The San Antonio Fire Department requires 2 fire drills in the first month of school and 1 fire drill per month for the remainder of the school year, or 11 per year. Shelter is called when specific proactive actions are needed based on a threat or hazard, typically in the cases of severe weather. The state requires 1 shelter drill for hazardous material and 1 shelter drill for severe weather per year, which is 2 shelter drills per year. We practice these drills and routines because in a true emergency, we default to our level of training. Should an emergency arise, parents will be contacted within 1 hour or as soon as the investigation is completed. This contact will come into the parents via school messenger, so if you have not enrolled in school messenger, please do so. When appropriate, the school will also follow up with an email or a letter. I would like to now move on to some of our physical enhancements and security measures. Beginning with the exterior. We are securing all doors and securing all gates. On the perimeter, we have surveillance cameras at various points throughout each campus. They're equipped with recognition technology to include person, clothing, and item detection. Our physical interior enhancements include secure vestibules and controlled entry points. We have audio door cameras that are outfitted for electronic key check-in, interior cameras that have the same recognition abilities as their exterior, and we require all exterior and interior doors, including our portable buildings, to be secured at all times. Other safety measures include limited entry and exit into our buildings, controlled access for visitors and volunteers, controlled key inventory, safety training for our substitutes, emergency training and equipment, an alphanumeric numbered system for exterior doors to support emergency response, and threat assessments. We are in the process of completing our summer safety audit, and all of our 75 points on our safety audit will be individually checked by the start of school. Mental health training for school police officers. SAISD, who have received this training, is the following. We're at 94% for mental health officers who have taken a 40-hour class. 96% of our police department have experienced a de-escalation techniques class, which is 8 hours. And we are 100% at all required school-based law enforcement training by the state. All sworn SAISD police officers receive mental health training. Several officers hold a mental health proficiency certificate through the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. School-based law enforcement certification is an SBL mandate. Additional law enforcement training, mental health training for all police officers, active shooter response for school-based law enforcement, which is the 2195 TCO mandated course, and also the ALERT, Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training Level 1. 100% of all SAISD police officers have completed the SB 11 mandated 2195 course. We are also 100% with all SAISD officers completing the ALERT mandate that was given down by Governor Abbott. Now, if you remember, you've heard this several times. If you see something, say something. Our K-12 anonymous reporting is something that you can use when you want to report anything. It does not have to be a crime. Anonymous reporting is available on our SAISD website by navigating to the K-12 anonymous reporting button and accessing the P3 campus. Thank you for your time, and I would like to turn it now over back to Dr. Aquino.
Thank you, Chief Reyes, for sharing that great information, but more importantly, to making sure our students and staff are safe.
Thank you, Dr. Aquino.
And now, to summarize the key points that we learned during our town hall, over $40 million is earmarked for safety enhancements for the school year 2022-2023. Half of that will be spent on direct mental health services to students. SAISD provides many layers of support for mental health. Our district will meet all safety requirements outlined in state law by the first day of school. The district is also prepared to address any safety crisis. And remember, safety belongs to everyone. Many of you submitted a question to the town hall regarding COVID. We would like to spend some time talking about our COVID-19 precautions for this school year. We will continue to provide opportunities for testing and vaccinations. We know that vaccinations are the most important strategy to mitigate COVID-19. We strongly recommend masking because community levels are currently high. We will maintain strict disinfecting procedures and continue supporting hand washing during the school day. We will continue to use air filtration system. When appropriate, we will ask families and staff to quarantine or isolate. We will continue to follow the guidelines recommended by Metropolitan Health District and Center for Disease Control. I know that many families have submitted questions about monkeypox. We have been in contact with Metro Health, and monkeypox is not spread through the respiratory system. The disinfectants that we use to kill the virus that causes COVID also kills monkeypox. As with any illness, if students or staff are ill, we ask you that you stay home and seek guidance from medical providers. At this time, we will open up our town hall for your questions.
Welcome, families, to our town hall Q&A coming to you live. We have quite a few questions that you've submitted that we're going to get to. We may not address all of your questions, or you might think of some questions that you have later on. Throughout the Q&A, we're going to be flashing our parent hotline so that you can call that number and ask questions that we may not address this evening. That number is 210-554-2210. Before we start answering some of these questions, I would like to welcome and introduce our board president, Christina Martinez.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here live. First, I'd like to just say thank you to all of our district communication staff and IT staff for working together to put this on this afternoon. And of course, to our police department and our curriculum instruction department led by Patty for bringing all of this wonderful information to us today. In addition to being the president of the board, I'm also a parent of 2 SAISD students. And so I know how important it is that when we drop our children off at school, that we feel safe. And so we take safety. It's a big priority for us here. You may have noticed that our presentations were pre-recorded, and that's because we've had, a lot of content that we wanted to make sure we captured. And so today we are live answering questions. Unfortunately, our superintendent, Dr. Jaime Aquino, is not here to join us. He is not feeling well. But thank you to those of you who submitted your questions ahead of time, and thank you to those who are still submitting them now. I'll turn it back over to Patty Salzman to answer those questions.
Thank you. So one of the questions we received was about our locking of our doors. And the question is, will we be locking our external doors? And so I just want to reiterate, you may have seen this in the recording, that we are requiring that schools lock all external doors and all interior doors where classroom instruction is happening. And that is going to be a requirement that all of our schools will have to ensure happens so that we can keep our children safe. Another question is, how do we know that our doors are locking? So this summer we have been participating in safety audits. There are approximately 75 points on that safety audit, with our primary concern being those things that our police officers say will keep children the most safe, and that is ensuring that we have secure gates, ensuring that we have locking doors, both externally and internally. And so all of the doors within the school district have been checked. Those that are not working have been repaired or will be repaired prior to the start of school. We have another question about what happens. I pick up my child in the gym after school, and there is no way for the person inside the gym to know who's on the other side. So we are installing what we call camera phones on the outside of our buildings, especially those that are separate and apart from the main building, or those where it's difficult to see what's on the other side of the door without opening it. We will be installing those on all of our external buildings and on our cafeteria buildings, our early childhood buildings. What will happen is when a visitor comes to the door, they'll be able to display their identification through the video. The person on the other side then will be able to buzz them in, but there will not be the need to open the door before they look through the video, and they can ensure that that person should have access to the building. We have another question that's related to COVID. Will vaccines be mandated? The answer to that is no, although we highly encourage vaccination. We know that that is one of the best ways to mitigate COVID, the effects of COVID. We also have a question about whether we're mandating masks We are not, but we are highly recommending mask wearing. That is important, especially in the case where the positivity rate is high in the community, which it is right now. So we will ask that parents mask their children. We have a question about whether masks will be provided, and the answer is yes. Just like we have in the past, if a student needs a mask during the day, we will provide it. They simply need to ask. We will not be requiring it, but we will make sure that they're available. We also have questions about monkeypox, and if there's anything we're going to be doing, such as mask wearing for monkeypox. We have been in contact with the Metropolitan Department of Health. We follow those guidelines as well as CDC. We reach out to them almost on a daily basis for any questions we have, and they have assured us that monkeypox is not spread by breathing. It is not something that the mask will help with. What they recommend is to continue the safe practices that we have in place, which is frequent hand washing and sanitizing of the area. And so we will continue to do that. We'll continue to provide those to our campuses. We do have some early childhood parents asking about whether the classrooms will be allowing rugs. In the past, we did not allow that, but Metropolitan Health is suggesting that we do not remove the carpets, that the viruses that cause both COVID and monkeypox are highly susceptible to ultraviolet radiation, and so they're killed relatively easily on an exposed surface. So our sanitizing procedures are very effective. And so they're recommending that we keep our carpets, but we clean them frequently, which we intend to do. And so early childhood parents, we will have carpets available, and our teachers are very excited about that. I'd like to ask Chief Reyes, do you have any questions from the community that you would like to address?
Yes, Ms. Salzman, gotten several here. I'll start by trying to go through these here. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for being here. One of the first questions here is, Chief, will armed officers be on site in case of active shooter? What will be the response time? What new safety measures are in place? Although I will not share the actual operational plan of our department due to safety concerns, we do have officers who are on site at some campuses, and we also have 3 divisions within our department that are going to have an immediate response to an active shooter situation. Safety measures, I'll tell you that SAISD Police Department has taken a strong stance on these types of critical events for the past 20 years. We've learned, because of large scale events or disturbances or mass casualty shootings, that we need to be prepared. So over 20 years, the SAISD Police Department has taken a strong stand. About 100, I would say 98 to possibly 100% of our department are all Alert Active 1 certified, or they have taken the SB 11-2195, which is a mandated course by the state of Texas. So yes, we are prepared. Our response will be immediate, and we will. The bottom line is we're going to stop violence and we're going to save lives. Here's another question, Chief. Will there be tip lines for students? This is a very important question. Yes, there is. We have the K-12, K through 12 anonymous reporting that can be found on our district website. That not only can you report crimes, but it is also used to report anything, such as bullying, someone being in a place they don't belong, or just having concerns with someone who's on the campus and they want to report that. That tip line is monitored 24/7 by our members of our department, and then that response to those are instantaneous. We share that information with the administrators, and collaboratively we work on the situation and bring a positive resolution to that. Another question is, Chief, have all police vacancies been filled within SAISD PD? I will share this with you. We currently are in an aggressive recruitment. We are hiring officers as we speak. They are not completely filled, but we are prepared and ready to roll out the start of the new school year. Chief, when was the last time you updated your EOP? The EOP is updated annually, and that is done by several overlapping members of the SAISD communities. So everybody has input. We follow the mandates, and those EOP standards and operations are updated annually. All right, one more here. Chief, what procedures are in place to keep students safe while in areas with all glass, such as cafeteria? That's a very good question. As many of you noticed, the aesthetics of our school, we want it to be conducive to learning and open, and we want children to be welcomed, right? So one of the things we've done, we've provided ballistic filming for some of those areas that have a large number of windows. Our operations department is also providing a frost to some of those so that obscures view. So those are some of the things that we've done with those. Yes, those are concerns, but keep in mind that every campus has a safety committee, and they have a site-specific operations plan. And regardless of the location, regardless of the time, they'll follow their procedures and ensure safety for all students at all times. And another question here, Chief, will in-district charter schools have officers? Again, I will not share our operational plans due to safety concerns, but again, I will rely on all the 3 divisions within our department. We have patrol, we have a support unit, we have the campus division. So there's going to be an immediate response to any location within the 79 square miles of SAISD, and in conjunction with the collaboration that we have with other agencies. You're going to have an instant and without delay response to any type of situation on our campuses. I think I'll do one more, Ms. Hausman, and
Okay.
we'll go this way, back to you. This one's a good one here. How do you know campuses are conducting their lockdown drills correctly? I'll tell you this. All campuses are required to turn in or to actually schedule their drills before the start of school. I have several members within our department who are part of the EOP team, the emergency operations team. They are on site when these drills are conducted. When they're on site, they actually view the drill, they provide support, and they provide feedback. The feedback is important because when they conduct the drill, they'll see vulnerabilities, they'll see things they can correct, they'll see things that they can improve. So that my team provides that support for the campus to ensure that when an actual drill or when an actual event occurs, they are prepared and able to, again, secure doors, save people, get people out of view, and prevent injuries to any of our students. I have a couple more, Ms. Hausman. Would you like me to do, or
Yes,
let's
yes.
go this way? Let me see. I'll take one more. How about that? Okay. Chief, what is being done with older schools to ensure doors are properly secured and at all campuses, even when they are unoccupied? Again, based on the mandates by the governor's order, these safety audits that are being conducted, as Ms. Salzman has said, these are being conducted now as we speak and will be conducted prior to the beginning of school. So just know that within these audits, we're identifying and fixing every single door, regardless if it's occupied or not. And it's from my understanding that we are almost there, complete. So we will be ready for the start of school. At this time, I want to say thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to my partner here, Ms. Hausman. Thank you.
I have a few more questions. A group of them relate to safety and COVID, and a group of them relate to the start of school. So I'll start with the ones that relate to safety. One of the questions is, for the committee looking at the safety and the budget recommendations, who is in the decision-making, and how do we determine which enhancements are funded? We have approximately 5 committees that are standing committees that we run throughout the year. One of them is this campus safety committee. Every campus in the district is required to have a safety committee that's composed of staff members, including teachers and administrators, to help the principal determine how they can best make the campus safe within the guidelines of both state requirements, district requirements, and also their plan for emergency procedures. We also have a district core team. That team is composed of division leaders that come together to address state mandates or look at policies and procedures. We also have a district level committee that's even bigger than that, that includes more members, that helps us make decisions. We also have a community committee, and that community committee recently met, and part of what they did was make recommendations for what we would include in this town hall. But we go to them for feedback on our multi-hazard emergency operation plan. We take recommendations to them. And then we also have the superintendent's executive team. And so there is no one group or one person that makes decisions about enhancements. Those are collaborative conversations, considering lots of factors that include our specific facilities, what the state and local requirements are, what we believe as SAISD to be in the best interest of our students. And then we take a lot of those decisions to these committees to help form the final decision. Of the $20 million, so we said $40 million this year would be set aside for safety. We said $20 million on mental health, another $20 million would be spent on things like enhancing the police, but also enhancing our facilities. So the questions about our older buildings, that's part of what those dollars are for. Enhancing our buildings, enhancing our surveillance cameras, enhancing our security around our doors, those audio video phones I was telling you about. That's how the other 20 million will be spent. And along the way, the committees that we have help us make those decisions. Another question we have is, in an emergency, how as a parent am I contacted? In the district, we have what we call our gold standard for communication. Whenever there is an incident on a campus, we want communication to go to families immediately. And for us, that means within an hour or as soon as we can conclude the investigation. In a crisis or emergency or an incident, our number one priority is keeping our children safe. But we also know the value and importance of communicating with our families. And so we try to do that within an hour. Sometimes it's not possible because we're still conducting an investigation. We want to make sure the information that goes out is accurate and that we provide parents with as much information as possible. But we also, when we give that message, we also may include additional information. For example, what parents can expect as a follow-up. We do that through our messaging system, through School Messenger. We also email. In cases where particular students are involved, we do phone calls. We also post on social media if that's relevant, and through our application called Parent Connect. So our goal is to make sure that when there are incidents that happen on our campus that we know our parents will want to know about, that we communicate that as soon as possible. We have a question about clear backpacks. Do our children have to bring clear backpacks? In collaboration with our national experts that we've asked this same question, what we receive back over and over is that there is no substantial evidence that demonstrates that clear backpacks deter any kind of risk on a campus or any kind of threat. So we are not asking that our students bring clear backpacks. What we're asking rather is that we make sure that our parents are talking with their children about safety, about what is appropriate to bring to school and what is not. I can tell you that in the rare circumstance when there's something inappropriate brought to school, often the children just didn't know that that was not appropriate to bring to school. So partnering with our families, having families talk to children about what's appropriate to bring to school, and then also involving our children in helping us make our schools safe. And that means being vigilant, being observant, helping us if they see a door propped open to make sure the door is closed. and to make sure the door is shut in the classroom so that that door will actually lock. We know from enormous amounts of research around how to keep schools safe that the most important thing we can do is lock our doors and be vigilant about our environment, and to report something if we see it. So no, we will not be requiring clear backpacks. Will COVID testing be available on campuses like last year? We very much believe in vaccination and testing, and we are continuing to work with our partners. I won't be able to share a schedule with you right now, but as soon as we have a schedule for testing and vaccination, we will post that on our webpage and make sure that the schools have that information so that we can share that with you. Now I want to go to some questions that have to do with the start of school. We have on our main webpage a link that says parents and students. So if you go to www.saisd.net, you'll see a button at the top of the page that says parents and students. When you go there, you will see some information called Back to School Essentials. And there you can find information about when school starts. You can find information about the parent-student handbook, about our student code of conduct, about our dress code. You can also find information there about how you might get assistance with any other questions that you need. If you need school supplies, we encourage you, there are quite a few supply drives happening around the city. We encourage you to call 210-554-2210 so that you can get information about maybe some school supply drives in your area, or we can help connect you to resources so that we can help your child meet whatever needs you have. What is most important to us is that your children come to school and they do so consistently. We don't want resources to be an issue or a barrier for you, so please reach out to us. We have another question about laptops. When and how do my children get their laptops? I do know that some schools are running laptop drives right now where they're contacting parents and parents can come through a drive-through and pick up laptops. But if that's not happening at your school, laptop distribution will begin on the first day of school. So please make sure that you are here on the first day, which is next week on Tuesday, August the 16th. With that, that concludes our questions. I am going to now.
Sure. I have a very important question that came up that I'd like to address.
Yes.
Please. The question is, how often are SAISD police officers trained? I can assure you that our officers train annually, and we train annually in various mandated courses, but however, we have a strong push regarding active shooter type training or active shooter training itself, crisis intervention, mental health, de-escalation. I gave a 98 or 97% earlier, and I forgot that this week, members of my department and members of other department went through an alert level 1 type training. That has brought our department up to 100%. Everyone in our department is alert level 1 certified or is SBLE training, which is the response to active shooter. I just want to stress that. I also want to stress one thing that's very important to me and this department. We can fortify our campuses, our buildings, and remember, like Dr. Aquino said, safety is everyone's responsibility. I just want to make one key point here. Our strong focus is our mental health issue. We want to provide services to those in need in a moment of crisis. My department, every single one of my officers is either a mental health certified Texas peace officer or has received crisis intervention training. In collaboration with the care team, we're going to get on site, de-escalate the situation, spend as much time as possible, and then provide a service to that child or those children who are in that crisis. We're going to get them transported over to a facility that is going to be able to provide them the help and the assistance they need. My stand is very firm. I think that if we concentrate on that problem with mental health, I think we're going to probably, hopefully, put a stop to any larger scale events that may occur. We need to target the issue, and that's mental health. So I want everybody in our community to understand that SAISD PD and SAISD as a whole is committed to that very one targeted thing. And I'm glad that you allowed me to stress that, Ms. Salzman, because it's very important to me. It's very important to our department, and it's who we are, and that's our mission. So thank you. I appreciate that time.
Thank you. And I think if Dr. Aquino were here, he would be saying whatever it takes, because our kids are worth it. And that means, parents, that if there's anything you need, please reach out to us, call the parent hotline. We are here to help. And with that, I will conclude by turning it over to President Martinez.
Thank you again to everyone for tuning in this evening, and thank you to our chief and to our deputy superintendent for answering all of your questions. Like Patty said, one of the most important things we can do as parents to make sure our kids are safe is to have open and honest conversations with their teachers and with their principals. If we see something and we have a concern, the teachers, the principals, the administration at the campus, they are there to support us. Thank you to Dr. Aquino for your leadership. We are very appreciative, and we'd like to wish every single one of you and all of our students out there a wonderful start to this school year. Let's make it great. Thank you.